Hey everybody, Yorgos Bugonia is a comedy coated in poison. It's the kind of dark absurdism he's perfected since The Lobster. Unsettling, hilarious, and just off-kilter enough that some viewers will bail, while others, like me, can't look away. It's not meant for everybody. This isn't just a story about two men unraveling. It's a cracked mirror held up to America. A portrait of belief systems tossed into the wind. Of people who want to save the world but don't know how to save themselves. Bugonia is a satire that laughs with its teeth showing. Bugonia moves with an almost insect-like logic, precise, unpredictable, and occasionally deranged. The comedy lands in that uncomfortable space between sincerity and threat, where the absurd starts to feel alarmingly familiar. Yorgos fills the story with a symmetrical framing and deadpan delivery, creating a tension that builds not from what characters say, but from what they refuse to acknowledge. Now, if you've seen The Lobster, you know Yorgos deals in tones that most mainstream audiences don't know what to do with. The humor is dry enough to crack. The violence is sudden, the emotions flattened until they feel alien. Bugonia carries that same DNA, but with a sharper, more political edge. Like The Lobster, the film asks, what rules do we invent to make sense of chaos? And what happens when those rules start to devour us? But where The Lobster explored relationships and social pressures, Bugonia expands its lens outward. It's about ideology, American ideology, and how easily it can twist itself into something unrecognizable. At its heart, Bugonia is an American fable told by an outsider. Yorgos captures the surreal contradictions of this country, the optimism that borders on delusion, the paranoia disguised as patriotism, the desperate need to believe in something, anything, even if it destroys us. This kind of film isn't necessarily mocking America. It's diagnosing it. And sometimes the diagnosis is the funniest when it hurts. Yorgos builds unease through tone rather than terror. The horror here is social. The fear of losing control, of losing your narrative, of losing the version of America you carry in your head. He uses bright colors and polite smiles the same way a horror director uses shadows. Something dangerous hiding behind the shine. The comedy is so straight-faced, you start to wonder if you're allowed to laugh. That confusion is the point. It's satire wrapped as a thriller, wrapped in a therapy session you didn't consent to. But what makes Bugonia profound? Bugonia works because it understands that comedy and fear often come from the same place. The absurdity of trying to exist in a world that makes no sense. And Yorgos taps into that beautifully. It's a film about belief, control, delusion, and the thin line between being enlightened and being lost. By the final moments, the absurdity has curdled into something eerily truthful. You're left laughing, but also unraveling, aware that the joke might be on all of us. Why should you watch Bugonia? If you love Yorgos' strange offbeat rhythms, if you thrive on dark comedy that pokes, provokes, and unsettles, Bugonia will be your kind of chaos. It's weird, sharp, and deeply American in its critique. This isn't just a story about conspiracy or madness. It's about the stories we tell ourselves to feel safe, and what happens when those stories start to sting. Thanks, everybody. I'm AJ, and this has been A Long Take. If you like this, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. I'd love your support. Check out some of my other content. I would also love for you to check out our feature film Transient, now streaming on all platforms. For fans of psychological horror and sci-fi elements, you will love Transient. Check it out. We'd love your support. If you're in the podcast, check out my podcast. Bad Movie Night is a weekly podcast I have with a bunch of my friends. We've been doing it for a very long time. We watch terrible movies, discuss them. It's a fun time. This is on YouTube and all streaming platforms. I also have another podcast called Self-Identities, Conversations with Convicted Women. We go into maximum security prisons and have conversations with women facing life sentences. It's very raw, very heavy, and really powerful stories. I'd love you to check out and give us your support. I'm AJ. Take care.